A single comment could send me spiraling. My heart would start pounding, my vision would narrow, and I just felt powerless to stop this destructive pattern that was ruining my relationships. I was a prisoner to my own anger. If you know that feeling, you know how hopeless it can seem. But I need to tell you something I wish someone had told me back then. You don't have to spend years in complex therapy to start healing. I'm going to share how I found my emotional freedom with one simple habit: the power of the pause. For years, I lived like a tightly coiled spring. The world felt like a minefield, and I was always braced for the next thing that would set me off. It could be anything: a car cutting me off, a dumb disagreement over nothing, a slight I imagined in an email. The trigger really didn't matter. The reaction was always the same: a sudden, hot surge of rage that felt like a hostile takeover of my own body. My loved ones learned to walk on eggshells. I could see it. The little shift in their posture when I walked into a room, the way conversations would just stop, how carefully they'd phrase things. They were trying to navigate my anger, to avoid tripping that wire. And the worst part? I couldn't blame them. Who wants to be around someone so unpredictable? After every explosion came that crushing wave of shame. I'd see the hurt in their eyes, the distance it created, and I would hate myself for it. I'd apologize. I'd swear I'd do better, but I felt trapped in a cycle I just couldn't break. I was pushing away the people I loved most, and I was completely alone with this monster inside me. See, anger isn't a character flaw. It's a signal. But I didn't know that then. For me, it felt like I was fundamentally broken. I couldn't see the pain and fear my anger was covering up. My whole identity had gotten tangled up in my rage. I wasn't a person who felt angry. I was an angry person. And that belief left me feeling utterly hopeless. Have you ever felt that way? Like your anger is what defines you? The moment everything changed wasn't loud. It was quiet. Painfully quiet. It was a Tuesday night. My partner and I were making dinner, and I was already on edge from a bad day at work. They reached for the salt and accidentally knocked over my glass of water. A harmless, fixable mistake. But I didn't see it that way. The reaction was instant and terrifyingly out of proportion. The sound of my own voice, just sharp and cruel, filled the kitchen. I didn't yell about the water. I yelled about everything. Old fights, things I thought they did wrong, a dozen unrelated frustrations that just came pouring out. And then, silence. My partner didn't fight back. They didn't get defensive. They just stood there, their face impossible to read, and slowly picked up a dish towel. They cleaned up the water without saying a word. That silence was heavier than any argument we'd ever had. And in that quiet, I saw the real damage. It was never about the water. It was about the trust I had just shattered. The safety I had just destroyed. Watching them, for the first time, I didn't see my anger as justified. I saw it as a poison. In that moment, I knew that if I didn't stop this, I was going to lose everything that mattered. The shame was different this time. It wasn't just regret. It was the cold, hard realization that I was on a path to being completely alone. That was my rock bottom. Not a screaming match, but the devastating silence that came after. In the days after that night, I was desperate. I read everything I could get my hands on: books, articles, podcasts. I was looking for a magic bullet, some complex technique that would justify how huge my problem felt. But the answer I kept finding was almost insultingly simple: the pause. The idea isn't to suppress your anger or pretend it's not there. It's just about creating a tiny gap of stillness between the trigger and your reaction. That's it, just a few seconds. It seemed way too simple. How could a few seconds stop the freight train of my rage? But the more I read, the more it clicked. That space, that pause, is where all your power is. It interrupts the automatic, reactive part of your brain, the one that just wants to fight, and it gives your logical, thinking brain a chance to catch up. It's like hitting a circuit breaker. The trigger is the power surge. Your usual reaction is the appliance about to blow up, and the pause is the breaker that cuts the electricity just long enough for the system to reset. This isn't just a nice thought, it's actually how our brains are wired. When we pause, we can literally change how our brain processes what's happening, reduce stress, and make a better choice. It's the shift from being a reactor, totally at the mercy of your emotions, to being a responder, who gets to choose what happens next. The whole goal is just to create a little bit of time. Putting the pause into practice was clumsy, really clumsy. The urge to react is a deep, well-worn groove in your brain, and you don't change it overnight. My first few tries were total failures. I'd feel the anger rising. I'd remember, I'm supposed to pause, and then I'd explode anyway, which only made me feel more hopeless. But I just refused to give up, so I started smaller. The advice I kept seeing said to start with your breath. So that became my only goal. The second I felt that heat in my chest, I had to take one slow, deliberate breath. In through the nose, out through the mouth. That's it. I wasn't trying to solve the problem or even calm down. I was just trying to take one single breath. And slowly, something started to shift. That one breath was just long enough to create a tiny crack in the wall of my rage. It was a micro pause, but it was a start. I learned that even a tiny delay is a win. Over time, one breath became 3. That slow breathing sends a signal of safety to your brain and starts to calm your whole nervous system down. Then I found a more structured technique that really helped: the STOP method. It stands for S. Stop. T. Take a few breaths. O. Observe what you're feeling. And then P. Proceed. Observing was the game changer for me. Instead of being consumed by the anger, I started to just watch it, almost like a scientist. I'd notice, wow, my jaw is tight. My heart is racing. I feel a hot pressure in my chest. By just naming the physical sensations, I was separating myself from the emotion. Naming it helps to tame it. There were still slip-ups. Days I reacted without thinking. But the difference was that now, I had a tool. The small victories started to add up. A nasty reply to an email was softened because I stepped away for a minute. A frustrating talk was handled with a deep breath instead of a defensive jab. Each little success felt like I was carving a new, calmer path in my brain. It was proof that I could actually change. About 6 months in, the universe decided it was time for a final exam. The scenario was almost identical to my rock-bottom moment. Another long, stressful day. Another meal being prepped together. And this time, it wasn't a glass of water. It was a whole bowl of tomato sauce, slipping and splattering all over the floor in my pants. I felt it instantly, that hot electric jolt. The old script started playing in my head. The blame, the frustration, that completely over-the-top anger. My mouth literally opened to say something cruel. But this time, something else happened. The new habit kicked in. I stopped. I didn't say a word. I just closed my eyes for a second. I took one deep, slow breath. Then another. I observed. The tightness in my chest. The heat in my face. The voice in my head screaming that this was the last straw. I just watched it all. I didn't fight it. I just gave it space. And in that space, a new thought popped in. It's just sauce. I opened my eyes. My partner was frozen, braced for the explosion, their face a mask of anxiety. Seeing that fear was like a splash of cold water. The old me would have seen their fear as guilt. The new me saw it as their trauma that I had caused. I took one more breath and said quietly, "It's okay. It's just sauce. Can you grab me a towel? The relief that washed over their face was everything. The tension in the room didn't just vanish, it was replaced by something soft and hopeful. We cleaned up the mess together. A simple accident ended not in a fight, but with a quiet sense of teamwork. That was the moment I knew I was free. The pause didn't just change my reaction, it changed the entire outcome. It saved my relationship. That whole journey started with a single breath. It wasn't always easy, but the method was simple. The most powerful changes usually are. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What's one small step you can take today to create a pause in your own life? Your story might just be what someone else needs to hear to start their own journey. Today, my life is unrecognizable. It's not that I never get angry. Anger is a normal, healthy emotion. It usually tells you a boundary has been crossed or a need isn't being met. The difference is that anger no longer controls me. It's just information. That one tiny habit, the practice of pausing, has rippled out into every part of my life. My relationships are so much deeper, built on trust and safety now. My home is peaceful. The greatest gift the pause has given me is choice. I can choose kindness over cruelty. I can choose to connect instead of wound. So if you feel like a prisoner to your anger, please hear me when I say this. You are holding the key. It's not a complicated lock. It's a simple, small habit. It's the power of the pause, and it can give you your life back.